Welcome back to the Skylanders Ultimate Soul Gem Lock. The rules are, as a refresher, I unlock a Skylander by collecting their Soul Gem, such as right here I get Pop Thorn and here I get Magnet Charge. Also, Skylanders have 1 HP, so 1-hit kills, and Permadeath. My roster, when I left off beating Giants, includes Crusher, Bouncer, Flashwing, Chill, Shroom Boom, Whamshell, and Dino Rang. And just like that, Mount Cloudbreak is already over. Starting out in Cascade Glade, we've already got Countdown added to the team. Over here, Gobblepods really help to make the area quite a bit safer, because, you know, they just eat all the enemies, and they don't really take long to swallow them before you need to get to the next one. Slobbertooth also can eat enemies, so hopefully he'll be just as helpful. Check this out here. One Gobblepod eats 2 enemies at once. I didn't know they could do that. They're probably not supposed to be able to, but he did. Rattleshake, great swapper to add to the roster, one of my favorites. This battle has 2 Gobblepods, so how hard can it really be? I mean, it is still level 2. What are you talking about, Tessa? We literally just started the level. I love that quote for some reason, just because of how long the levels are in Swap Force, too. These rock shooters are deceptively difficult to dodge, especially in this area. They all line up and you don't have much room to walk. But if you do dodge them, you can eventually find Zulu. I will save the Magic Circle under any circumstance. The Magic Circle is the most important landmark in all of Skylands. I guess maybe that would be a Sky Landmark? I will be remembered as a hero, and you will be remembered as the Magic Circle Keeper, a fantastic name. For saving the Magic Circle, we get Free Ranger and Bumble Blast, which are 2 very good Skylanders, especially Bumble Blast. Zulu is able to take out the rest of the level without any difficulties at all. And just after Mudwater Hollow is completed, Hoot Loop becomes available in Woodboro. Man, Ranger being able to swing these enemies around, even with their shields up, is such a handy feature. Using that makes this part of the level almost free. These enemies can't even attack because I just interrupt them as well. And just up here we got Roller Brawl, one of my favorite Skylanders. But with my track record, that means she'll probably die very soon. And Starstrike, the only character who can attack while jumping in this game for some reason. I guess not being able to deflect her bolts every time you wanted to jump would be too punishing. Not much happens in the Rampant Ruins. Evil Glumshanks is an easy fight. And it's a good thing those cacti don't damage me. We're able to get wind up without taking a death. Later in the level with Starstrike, I get hit by a cannonball coming from the background. Unfortunate, but that is our first death. We do get Grim Creeper to replace her though. Time to show off Roller Brawl's speed and dash right into a cannonball. Oops. So now both of the Chapter 4 characters are gone. We collect Grilladrilla's Soul Gem through this wooden structure for some reason. And as far as I'm aware, there's no way to avoid putting a legendary treasure onto the pedestal during this section. And there's no way to remove them afterwards either. So I'm gonna have 5 ranged armor from this point on, I guess. Next level up, we got Boomjet and Night Shift right out of the gate. And Bouncer takes a death. He's a bit big and slow, so it was only a matter of time. Over here, I tried to back out and missed my jump, so Grim Creeper dies a very unfortunate death. How was Whamshell lived for this long, honestly? I guess I don't usually play as him in this challenge, but I've swapped him to get past several trap sections. Well, I guess that's that. I do try to use every Skylander when I can, but sometimes they just die really soon. Free Ranger comes up to this grind rail section, and I panicked at the moving mine and landed myself right in front of a barrier. This upcoming area has got so many enemies who attack all at once, and by jumping up to the platforms of the higher up ones, it takes just about as long as it takes them to do an attack cycle, so there's really no downtime. You just gotta get up there really quick and carefully. Oh no, another grind rail with mines! I couldn't even see and react to that one in time, so that's kinda trash in my opinion. Also, how did that hit me? There's no way. I say scam. Finally, arriving towards the end of this level, Scorp takes damage and I couldn't quite make it through without another death. But if I just run around long enough, then I'll eventually beat this boss, along with the longest level in the game. So Smolder Dash now becomes available. You need 3 random elements, and I don't have any fire or water. In fact, none of their soul gems have been offered to me yet. Apparently, if you don't move at all here, you get all the coins, which is interesting, and I don't even have any increased pickup range on. Coming up is my favorite sound effect in all the series. Washbuckler is unlocked. How did I get out of bounds here? I couldn't get back in. Just across the Terra Squid tentacles, which is weird that they're here, I get the Firecracken Soul Gem. And at the turret section, I barely hit that missile in time. That was close. But I didn't see this one soon after. And then Crusher is swarmed by all the missiles I couldn't take down while I was switching, which is really unfortunate. Riptide 2 also goes down. I swear this is usually easier than this. So the Fire Viper fight is usually pretty easy, but apparently once you activate both of those catapults, the fireball reticles disappear, so I got killed. Very unfair. Attempt 2 for Smolder Dash, we got Magic, and Air. Let's go. I got all 3 doors with 1 character.
Do you want the honors of shooting them out of the sky?
I love how you can just say no to this event for some reason. Spy Rise joins the team. And Slobbertooth gets hit by an icicle during the start of this cutscene, but it still damaged him, so it still counts. Dunebug acquired. Fire Rise's death happens up here. I could not get away from the Gazer Mage beam fast enough. This Cyclops Gazer Mage dies to the falling icicle. I don't think I've ever noticed that before. Oh my gosh, the lunge distance on these chompies is insane. And this turret section is extremely difficult to do damageless. There's so many targets you have to hit, it moves really quickly, and your reticle moves really slow. So Countdown did not make it out. But only 1 death for that turret? I will definitely take that. I always skip the snow pile, by the way. Why is it even here? I really thought Spybuckler would have enough projectiles to swarm this area and take out all the chompies. And Dunebug immediately jumps into a snowball. The camera cannot figure out where to go for Stink Bomb Soul Gem. Popthorn simply ran into this attack. Whoops. Rubber Louser is just across these platforms. So I tried to teleport to dodge an incoming attack, but it did not dodge. Alright, this was a little bit silly of me. but the lunge distance is so long. Here we get Frino. And while fighting these snow dogs, I barely didn't get away in time. I really thought I had that. And a couple quick dodges later, we get Trap Shadow to end off this level. Not much else to say about the Frostfest Mountains, but Trap Rouser took a bit too long when summoning these miners here. These bosses are designed so that you can beat them damageless. That's how you get the 3 stars, so theoretically I should be good at them. Finally we unlock Blast Zone. It's about time. Please, look away for this one. So I think Blast is a very good character. Super high damage output and the moves are really quick. All you have to do is take half a second to set up a flame wall and the bombs do so much extra damage. Coming up soon we get Freeze Blade. And Scratch. Over towards the end of this level, Boom Shadow is overwhelmed just a bit and gets taken out. The 2 tech gear golems together at the same time creates quite the challenge. Nowhere is safe from them. If I really wanted to risk it, I would go release the water pump super quick, but I don't think that would be a good idea. They would definitely hit me out of that. Man, the Chaos boss fight is a real letdown in this game, isn't it?
You did it, Skylander!
During this section, the way I walk makes it so that there's a goo ball hidden behind my HP bar, and so I didn't see it and I jumped into it. Though I really should have been able to see that Frino death coming up. Up here, I made the big mistake of throwing this enemy into the goo, thinking it would kill it. And then during the next monster section, it stayed alive and terrorized me throughout the fight. The goo stays on the floor for so long. But at least we get Punk Shock to make up for that death. And Shroom Boom is able to prove why he's been able to stay alive for this long. One of my favorite characters for sure. Oh, almost missed that one. We got Doomstone unlocked. So this area you have to fight on gets covered real quick by goo bombs. It makes it pretty hard to get around. You lose a lot of space quickly. Seriously, they just force you to wait here so the gloop gunners can flood you with goo bombs. But somehow Rattlejet makes it through. And now it's time for the end of level arena. Lots of enemies, many projectiles and traps, you get the point. And then this guy shows up out of nowhere, breaks out of the box and kills me before I could even process what happened. Fortunately, Bumbleblast is such a good character that he can take out the rest of the level by himself. The bees completely remove the chompies as a threat here, which is a really nice bonus. That is all 32 soul gems. There's tons of enemies on screen during this boss fight, and they all have quite a bit of health too. Quite a lot more than the rest of the enemies tend to. All of these enemies are ones I've dealt with before, of course, but they're usually not nearly this many at once.
You are more resourceful than I thought.
I did not notice that bog hog spawn in there. This is probably the boss that's taken me the longest to 3-star. It's a tough one.
You can't be doing this! You're no match for me!
Looks like I'm out of defenders.
This portion of the boss, you just have to fight a bunch of common enemies, so it's really easy. Most of them don't even get to attack before dying. And just like that, we're on to the last level. The foot phase is nothing I can't handle. It's literally just a few easy jumps, and then can you deal damage? The hardest part of the mouth phase is at the end when the air and tech gear golems come together. But I actually ended up skipping that phase by doing so much damage to the teeth in such a short amount of time, which is pretty crazy. Oh no, I hope Glumshanks doesn't drive to this edge of the eardrum. Is this supposed to be an eardrum? Blaststone does eventually take a death. They beat so much of this level too. Time for Doomblade to die. Going invisible stops all these enemies from attacking temporarily, which is pretty handy for getting up close to them. They can't shoot what they can't see. And for these enemies in particular, they won't become invincible until you're back to being visible. So that helps tremendously.
Interesting.
Hugo really overreacts about these sheep. They're so fun and nice, and they can damage you? I genuinely had no idea. Back, you vile beasts! Okay, that jump was pretty close. Just a little bit further to get to the end. And that's the end of Swap Force. On to Trap Team next. The survivors are Scratch, Bumble Blast, Shroom Boom, and Wash Shake.